There is and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She served my routine. But my father was a gamberman down in New Orleans. Now the only thing the gamer needs is a suitcase and a song. Now the only time he's satisfied, it's when he's on a drum. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Oh, spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans, where the ball and chain. Yeah, the red flowers in New Orleans. Let it go, the rising sun. And it's me and the ruin of many a poor boy. Thank God I know I'm one. Yeah, I'm one. Thank God I know I'm one.
This is the dawning of the age of awareness. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the RealMightyJoe Show. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes on my porch currently. That's what's going on with me. I'm like getting bit to absolute shit. But I'm here to present to you all the weird shit that I found all over the internet yesterday and today. Again, this is one of those days that, I'm still fresh in my work garb pretty much. So it's luckily you can't smell me through the internet. That's a blessing to all you guys because I have these wonderful sweat wicking shirts. They're great. I work in a factory. I'm sweating all day doing physical labor. So it's really nice to have the sweat wicking fabric. But man, do they smell funny by the end of the day. And I haven't pulled it off yet. So we're still there. But Love you guys. Welcome to the show. That's a long note about me. But yeah, I got a bunch of weird shit called up for you guys. My whole screen is full of tabs right now, so I'm just gonna start with something really fun and funny. I got a huge kick out of this. This like really freaking made my day the other day. I'm an AC/DC fan. Back in the day, some of the first CDs I ever bought for myself were AC/DC CDs, and yeah, that was some good stuff. The first one ever was White Zombie Astro Creep 2000, actually, was the first CD I ever bought for myself. But shortly after that, I bought some AC/DC stuff. Let me see if I can find this guy. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. I got a million tabs open. I got to find the right one. I was originally going to play this later in it, but I actually want to start with this because it's just like too funny for its own good. So hold on. I'm finding the funny for you. My lady just pulled in. See all the headlines. Fancy stuff. All right. Hold on. Oh, I think that's not there. Where the hell did I put it? I know I called it up because it's like, it's too gold not to. It's all the way at the back. Can you imagine that? This is what I'm going to play first. I put it all the way at the end, but it's going to be the first thing I'm going to show you tonight because this is like too funny for its own good. So, all right. Bear with me, folks. Get the audio tripped on here. Share the audio. Put it on the thing. All right. So, I'll put the link in the comments because this is just fucking great. Yeah. Check this shit out.
CDC's greatest hits. Now available with proof of vaccination. You banned fast and strong. You'll get all-time classics like I got the jam. It's been too long. I'm glad to be fast. Yes, I got the juice. I took two. Tell me, Dr. Fauci, what you want me to do, because I'm fast. Enter to win a signed copy of the album by Brian Johnson & Johnson. I took a fast vaccine during quarantine. It was the worst damn shakes I have ever seen. Legendary hits like Quarantine for just 2 weeks. Stay away from me for just 6 feet. CDC will tell you lies. CDC and ignore all your cries. Hell, oh, Angus, are you alright? A palsy! You're shaking, oh woman! You're shaking! Help me! Somebody call a doctor! Where's Fauci? A palsy! Dr. Fauci, hello! Help me! Hello! Dr. Fauci! A palsy! Hello!
Yeah, that show was fucking great. I had to share that, guys, with you. I had to share that. I put the link up for everybody. My God, yeah, funny stuff. All right. So this is all over the internet today. So we're just gonna go ahead and go here next.
Hey,
yeah.
Don't drink my smoothie.
Oh, she's yelling. She's yelling at the cat.
She's trying to drink my smoothie.
See, our cat's trying to drink smoothies. She has an addiction to coffee, too. She has a problem with any kind of cup you sit down. All right, so this has been, like, all over the internet today, so we have to, like, go on this one. Like, this was actually trending. My butt's been wiped was, like, #1 trending on Twitter earlier today for this reason specifically. So I'm going to scroll this, like, way back. We're probably going to watch it twice through. So here, I'll go ahead and mute myself in advance. Here we go. My butt's been wiped.
Must it be in reconciliation?
What must be what?
Immigration. A pathway for citizenship.
Increase the pathway for citizenship. Whether it can be in immigration remains to be seen.
Does vaccinated individuals wear masks? Does immigration need to be in reconciliation? Must it be in reconciliation?
Now, y'all listen real close. Everybody says, it sounds like he says, my butt's been wiped. Might sound like that. I've heard that too much to like know what the hell he says, but he walks up all weird. We'll scroll back. Hold on. Watch this shit. One.
Like immigration needs to be in reconciliation. Must it be in reconciliation?
What must be what?
Immigration. A pathway for citizenship.
Increase the pathway for citizenship. Whether it can be in immigration remains to be seen.
Does that mean individuals wear masks?
Yeah, you guys make of that shit whatever the hell you guys want to on that. I don't know what to think about that. It did sound like you said my butt's been wiped to me personally. My butt's been wiped. Oh, anyway, that was all over the fucking internet. All right, now we're going to take a flashback to the 70s. So here we go in our little time machine. Back to the 70s. This is just a little bit of a clip of a 60-minute thing, and I actually would like to look up the whole thing. I just didn't have time. I'm doing all this on fly, so a lot of these...
Remember the swine flu scare of 1976? That was the year the U.S. government told us all that swine flu could turn out to be a killer that could spread across the nation. And Washington decided that every man, woman, and child in the nation should get a shot to prevent a nationwide outbreak, a pandemic. Well, 46 million of us obediently took the shot. And now 4,000 Americans are claiming damages from Uncle Sam amounting to $3.5 billion because of what happened when they took that shot. By far the greatest number of the claims, 2/3 of them, are for neurological damage or even death, allegedly triggered by the flu shot. We pick up the story back in 1976 when the threat posed by the swine flu virus seemed very real indeed.
This virus was the cause of a pandemic in 1918 and 1919 that resulted in over 500,000 deaths in the United States.
Does that sound familiar to anybody? Here, I'll play it back again.
This virus was the cause of a pandemic in 1918 and 1919 that resulted in over 500,000 deaths in the United States, as well as 20 million deaths around the world.
See how easy it is to...
Thus, the U.S. government's publicity machine was cranked into action to urge all America to protect itself against the swine flu menace.
Influenza is serious business. During major flu epidemics, millions of people are sick and thousands die. Well, this year you can get protection. The vaccines are safe, easy to take, and they can protect you against flu. So roll up your sleeve.
Notice in the background, they're shooting them up with this kind of like vaccine gun thing. It's just like, pa-chant, pa-chant, pa-chant. It's like creepy. Like no washing it in between people, nothing.
See how easy it is to...
Thus, the U.S. government's publicity machine was cranked into action to urge all America to protect itself against the swine flu menace.
Influenza is serious business. During major flu epidemics, millions of people are sick and thousands die. Well, this year you can get protection. The vaccines are safe, easy to take, and they can protect you against flu. So roll up your sleeve. Protect yourself.
One of those who did roll up her sleeve was Judy Roberts. She was perfectly healthy, an active woman, when in November of 1976, she took her shot. 2 weeks later, she says, she began to feel a numbness starting up her legs.
I joked about it at that time. I said, I'll be numb to the knees by Friday if this keeps up. By the following week, I was totally paralyzed.
So completely paralyzed, in fact, that they had to operate on her to enable her to breathe. And for 6 months, Judy Roberts was a quadriplegic. The diagnosis? A neurological disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS for short. These neurological diseases are little understood. They affect people in different parts. Was a quadriplegic. The diagnosis?
Pay attention, my little birds. Does this sound familiar? Have you heard this before?
A neurological disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS for short. These neurological diseases are little understood. They affect people in different ways. As you can see in these home movies taken by a friend, Judy Roberts' paralysis confined her mostly to a wheelchair for over a year.
So yeah, that's a clip I got to share with you guys today. These are kind of ordered today, so we're just gonna kind of go down the line, and they'll have an effect on you, I guess, one after another. I'm gonna go here next, I guess. See what this is. Oh, this is random. I guess this is meant to be positive. So that was funny. That was that thing really nice. We gotta get rid of it. All right, there we go. All right, we got the next one up in line. Here, we're gonna look at this next. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, this is kind of an on-the-fly show. I'm just gonna kind of cram a bunch of videos down you guys' throats and see what you think of them all. I guess it's what I'm doing tonight. It's what I'm in the mood to do. So this is what the show is. This is all the stuff I, over the last couple of days, culminated. I've had a busy week or so that's why I haven't been doing as many shows.
Again. You said you had fully intended, I believe you, to get the just to you again. You said you had fully intended, I believe you, to get the vaccine. You were excited for the vaccines. You understand how vaccines work, etc. It sounds like you've chosen not to get the vaccine.
I have not. I am on an alternative called ivermectin, and I should say that ivermectin is a drug that is very controversial at the moment. There is lots of evidence about it. The evidence does not all point in the same direction, but it appears to be both a very effective treatment for COVID and also an effective prophylactic that prevents people from coming down with the disease. And in light of the adverse event signal in the VAERS data and the massive unknowns about what their long-term impact will be on the vaccinated, my wife and I decided that it was safer to run the risk of taking ivermectin off-label and getting the protection that comes from it. And the protection that comes from it appears to be, in the largest and best meta-analysis, something like 86% effective in preventing the contraction of COVID.
So a lot of this is rapid fire. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, if anyone wants to call in here, I'll throw the link in the comments. If anyone wants to call in and join the show, go ahead, check it out in the live chat. The StreamYard link. Feel free to jump in. I'll let you in. I'll keep you on screen as long as you're all cool. You know that. We have great conversations. I love the people that call in. I actually really like, it directs the whole show in its own way. Sorry, so I already did this. We're going to check on this video. I'm just kind of hammering down on these until something else occurs, because all this is related. It's all related shit, So, let me get this full screen.
141 people are in hospital with COVID.
All right, so this is in New Zealand, I believe. Double check, hold on. It is, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Australia. Australian health official. So this is a official news conference from Australia a couple days ago. Just listen to this shit all the way to the end.
141 people are in hospital with COVID
at present, and 43 are in intensive care, 18 of whom require ventilation. So this is a very serious disease. Of those 141, 60 are under the age of 55 and 28 under the age of 35. And of the 43 people in intensive care, one is in their teens, 7 are in their 20s, 3 are in their 30s, 14 are in their 50s, and 12 are in their 60s, and 6 are in their 70s. So this is affecting people of all ages with very serious disease. All but one are vaccinated. One person has just received 1 dose of vaccine. All but one are vaccinated. One person has just received 1 dose of vaccine. Are vaccinated. One person has just received 1 dose of vaccine. 12 are in their 60s and 6 are in their 70s. So this is affecting people of all ages with very serious disease. All but one are vaccinated. One person has just received one dose of vaccine. Has it just received one person? All but one are vaccinated. One person has just received one dose of vaccine. All but one are vaccinated. One person has just received one dose of vaccine. All but one are vaccinated. One person has just received one dose of vaccine.
Is that thing? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. There was that. Let's see if this will go. If anything gets my YouTube taken down, it might be this one. We'll see. You know, I got balls of steel. We'll keep going. I have all my links in the description for backup channels. If my YouTube ever gets taken down, I will be putting up videos on those backup channels. I may not be able to go live immediately, but I'll put up short videos to say hi to everybody and let you know that's where I'm at. So please go to the description. Follow me on all those backup channels if you haven't done that already. That'll help you out finding me. But all right, here we go. Let's play. This has been all over the internet, so we might as well watch this.
Well, I think we should discuss that while you're there,
okay,
yeah.
But why did you call me at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me that? On the morning that the Marine Out article comes out?
I didn't know about Marine Down.
Well, you did before you started talking to me,
you wouldn't attack me, that you would be a bit more humble.
I did
but
not
I was
attack
wrong,
you.
and it pissed me off.
I didn't attack you.
You said I'm going to use against you.
No, I said to
and
you,
then you said I haven't.
I don't want to give you information about
notice
this
I was making
program
words.
because
Okay.
I'm afraid that you'll use it against me as not being
I
honest.
can't keep talking.
He sounds like such a whiny bitch. It's probably echoing. I'm sorry. I had my mic muted. I didn't have my mic muted because
Well, I think we should discuss that while you're there,
Okay,
yeah.
but why did you call me at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me that? On the morning that the Marine Out article comes out?
I didn't know about Marine Down.
Well, you
and
did
I guess
before
I
you
thought
started
that
talking to me,
you wouldn't
Allie.
attack me, that you would be a bit more humble.
I did
but
not
I was
attack
wrong,
you.
and it pissed
hold on the Real Mighty Joe Show. We need context here. What are we watching? We're watching Hunter Biden, the son of the President of the United States, talking to his dead brother's ex-wife that he was sleeping with, and also potentially boinking her daughter and doing drugs and sending his, the laptop's a whole nother mess. But this is a little freshy video that a lot of people haven't seen. I've seen it, but let's watch this. Come on.
me off.
I didn't attack you.
You said I'm going to use against you.
No, I said to
And
you,
then
Hallie,
you said I haven't
I
been
don't want to
supportive.
give you
You didn't
information
notice
about
I
this
was being
program
supportive.
because
Okay.
I'm afraid that you'll use it against me as not
Okay.
being
I
enough.
can't keep talking. We're going to go round and round in
I'm
circles.
not arguing, Hallie. I'm asking you.
Okay. I don't know. I think we should schedule a visit and we'll talk with the therapist. I'm not going to continue to argue, and I don't want to talk and make things worse.
What's he doing there? Wait a minute. What's he doing there? I used to do that stuff. I've been there. Long time ago. It looks like he's doing some weird shit there. He's ignoring her. Huh? What's he doing there?
Yeah.
Shady little fucker. That guy's our first son selling his $500,000 fucking finger paintings. If you're not pissed off about that, I don't know where you're at. Head check yourself. All right. So this is some bullshit. I'm just going to show this next because fuck it. I saw this and I was like, man, this does happen more and more. I keep seeing more and more of these videos of just people acting like total retards and assholes. And it's not race related or anything else. It's just people that like are overprivileged that like don't realize there's repercussions for their actions. Just look at these assholes raging out in a pizza store, probably late at night, probably everybody's drunk, whatever the hell's going on, but just dog shit going all the way around. Let's watch this shit.
It's really happening. Oh! Oh! Oh my fucking shit. I'm still waiting for my pizza, by the way. You're not getting it. I want my pizza.
I don't want to glorify it. I'll cut it off after that asshole being like, I still want my pizza. Like, you know, during all this bullshit. It's like, there's just something wrong with people thinking they can settle shit that way. All right, next clip's going to be some heavy-duty shit. This comes from a Senate hearing in Texas, and this talks about the vaccine shit. This is about 8 minutes. We're going to basically go off on this for a little bit here. I might pause it once or twice just to talk about it, but we're just going to watch some of this because there's some good information in this one. Let's look at this. Yeah, 9 minutes. I'm basically going to watch this whole shit with you. This is a congressional hearing, so we can watch it.
Senator Lucio was present. And Senator Campbell's back. As I mentioned, for those just joining us, there are multiple meetings going on, and many members of this committee chair other committees and on other committees, and 2 or 3 at the same time. So they're in and out. Staff members are here. Staff members are watching. This is all being taken down and listened to. So thank y'all for being here. Doctor, welcome. Introduce yourself and give us your testimony.
Thanks for having me this morning. My name is Dr. Angelina Farella, and I am a pediatrician in Webster, Texas, independent solo physician. I have come here today really to protect our children of Texas. This is a very scary situation that we're in right now. I just want to kind of touch on a few things, some history. Never in history before have we given medications that were not FDA approved to people that were not initially studied in the trial. There were no trial patients that were under the age of 18. There were no trial patients that were previously exposed or had COVID. These are 2 very important points with this. The other issue is safety. I'm kind of a safety freak. I'm a pediatrician. I've been a pediatrician for over 25 years. I find myself a vaccine expert. I've given tens of thousands of vaccines in my office. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a very pro-vax, actually, except when it comes to this COVID vaccine, if we can call it that. The one of the big issues is the safety profile. The safety and the adverse events recommendations through the ACIP, which is the Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices, they have made some recommendations in regards to the COVID-19 vaccine. One of the things that is extremely troubling, and it's on their ACIP guideline for the Pfizer vaccine in particular, that recommendations about safety and adverse events will come out after authorization. After authorization. This is a very scary issue.
Agreed, and I'm just kind of changing the screen up just to give her an exclamation at that point. I'll just repeat that for her.
But the rotavirus vaccine was actually pulled immediately, and we stopped giving it to our kids. And what has happened with this particular vaccine is appalling to me. We have in excess of 4,000 deaths, and this thing has not been pulled yet. This is absolutely unacceptable. On top of that, you know, a few years ago, maybe some of you don't understand that we had a flu epidemic, pandemic in 2017, and it killed 95,000 Americans. And 95,000 Americans died despite the fact that we have early, effective antiviral treatment for the flu. Okay? We now have early, effective outpatient treatment for COVID. We've had it for a long time. As a pediatrician, I stepped up to the plate in Texas to help Texans, adults, because doctors in my community shut their doors, locked their doors, and refused to treat patients. I've seen hundreds of adults active COVID. I've also treated post-vaccine problems in adults. This is, again, me stepping up to the plate. I'm becoming very vulnerable because as a pediatrician, this is not my wheelhouse, but my wheelhouse is infectious disease. I see lots of little kids. They are Petri dishes. The reason why they're a buffer is exactly that reason. They have something called a thymus. A thymus helps them with T-cell immunity. So that's another point for you to understand. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Doctor, thank you. Senator Lucio has a question for you, Senator.
Of the people that you stated have died because of influenza, what percentage of those people had that early
Early effect, like Tamiflu or amantadine or other
I
antibiotics.
mean, were these people that died that didn't have any kind of medication?
Well, that's a very interesting question because the way the influenza is recorded, it is not an actual reportable disease in some counties, states. So the national numbers through the CDC are estimates, but we know that it's available.
I understand that, but you see, you led me to believe that they had died, even though they had. There's availability to that medicine, but you led me kind of to believe in your presentation
See that attempted derailing
they
there?
had
That was
died,
an attempted derailing, right?
even
there.
though
See that?
some of them had taken.
I'm sure there were some that did take it. Yes, there's high risk individuals that we can only do so much.
Well, we don't have.
But there's no
statistics or anything.
Correct.
Are you here testifying for yourself or for the your profession, your pediatricians, let's say, of Texas?
Myself.
Yourself. Okay. Thank you.
Again, I view that language as threatening, like the way he just approached it.
With your experience, you're talking about going back to 1999 or maybe before. Has there been another vaccine that had the high incidence of serious hospitalizations and deaths that this vaccine is now showing?
Not to this extent. Absolutely not.
Not even
This one.
Not even
close. Not even close.
Any other vaccine would have been pulled from the market.
Absolutely, it would have been pulled probably within the first few, just as we've seen in the past. What was it?
And have you seen any other vaccine that was put out for the public that skipped the animal test?
Never before, especially for children.
And as what I've read, they actually started the animal test, and because the animals were dying, they stopped the test.
Correct.
Folks, I think that's important to understand there, that what we're talking.
I think this is very important. And again, I'll scroll it back for a second because I've seen this literature. It's extremely hard to find now, unfortunately, but he mentions this literature of the animal testing, and I've seen it. I've seen the literature as to why they stopped this originally in animal testing for flu vaccines. And this is going a number of years back. But I'm super happy this is entered into the Texas congressional record. This is a Texas Senate hearing, but I'm very, very thankful he mentioned this.
Out to the public that skipped the animal test.
Never before, especially for children.
And as what I've read, they actually started the animal test, and because the animals were dying, they stopped the test.
Right.
Folks, I think that's important to understand there, that what we're talking about is the American people are now the guinea pigs. This is the test program that's going on. They didn't do the human testing, and they stopped the animal test because the animals were dying. And then they turned it out for the public. And we are now looking at businesses that want to mandate that this experimental vaccine be given to people as a condition of their employment. And yet we have this death count that continues to rise and be totally ignored out there. So do you agree with what I was saying,
Absolutely.
Doctor? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you and your work.
Thank you, Senator Hall. Senator Lucio.
Question of Senator Hall.
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty strong statement. Do you have data that we can look at to see what happened on those?
It's on the
initial.
It's on the CD's website.
It's on the TV website.
Yes.
Can you direct us to that website? I'd like to see that.
I will get you. Yes.
I'd like to see if they, how many they tested, and in fact, if they stopped testing because animals were dying.
Yeah. Okay. I will get that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senators. Any other questions for the witness? Thank you for being here. Thanks for your testimony.
I'm muted. There we go. So yeah, there was that. Yeah, and Independent Minnie, I'll pop that back up. She read that 80% of the animals died and the rest needed to be euthanized. Like, I don't remember the exact percentages, but I remember a lot of the ones that did survive had complicated cancers and all sorts of other health issues that developed after the fact. So even if they survived the gambit of the initial health issues, it does create more health issues. So here's another thing just to play you guys, just to give you an idea of where the hell we're at in life, because this is really what's really going on. So here, we're going to scroll this back, make it big. I shared the audio. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me make sure I did. I'm going to just go ahead and double do it because I don't want to screw up. So shared audio, bam, click on it. We're going here. Scroll back. All right, ready? Let's go. Whoa, that's weird. There's no audio. Hold on. Oh, I got it muted here. Yeah, that's all right. So here's the audio. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kek. I have been practicing OBGYN for 26 years. When my patients ask me whether they should get vaccinated against COVID-19, I tell them yes. If you're trying to become pregnant now, or try in the future, you can get a COVID vaccine. There's no evidence that any vaccine, including COVID-19 vaccine, causes. I send my patients to the website. Hi, I'm Dr. Kek. I have been practicing OBGYN for 26 years.
Seeing it yet? All right, here we go. Next clip up for your fucking consumption. Let's just keep rolling. Steam rolling, baby. Here we go. Next one. Next one. Here we go. JFK, back in the day. Here we go. Scroll back. All these TikTok minute-long clips or 30-second clips are all over Twitter right now, but they're good because they're letting people publish whatever. Let's go.
College, members of the American Society, newspaper editors, ladies and gentlemen. The president of a great democracy such as ours and the editors of great newspapers such as yours owe a common obligation to the people. An obligation to present the facts, to present them with candor, and to present them in perspective. Mr. Catledge, members of the American Society, newspaper editors, ladies and gentlemen. The president of a great democracy such as ours, and the editors of great newspapers such as yours, owe a common obligation to the people.
Next up on the plate, we got an interview on the Steve Bannon War Room that just happened earlier today. Like I said, I'm steamrolling. This is just a show on the fly, so I'm just showing you guys a bunch of shit. So we're gonna go here next. We'll it's broken into 3 parts, so I'll probably I'll stop in between and talk about pieces of it. But so again, this is the founder of the mRNA. CDC's underreporting the adverse effects, and government is suppressing information. Let's part 1 of 3.
Malone, you with us?
I'm here.
Hey, how you
Testing.
doing? So yeah, we got you. So can we? So about, is it toxic to put spike protein into a human being?
So everything's relative. Spike has toxicities. The native spike clearly has toxicities. That's part of what drives the COVID disease. Every drug or vaccine is toxic at some level in some percent of people. And there's pretty clear evidence that the spike protein expressed from vaccines is causing toxicity in a small subset of patients. The question is, how big is that subset and how bad and broad are those toxicities? And the honest truth is, we don't know And furthermore, there's a lot of signs that that information is being withheld from us. So how does it?
Hang on a second. Hold on, hang on. You drop bombs all the time. What do you mean being withheld for us? Ali Veshi just said at MSNBC, the dirty dozen is the problem, the misinformation is the problem, the Surgeon General saying is the problem, Dr. Malone, the inventor of this, he's now the problem because he's gone rogue. What do you mean? How do you back up the fact you think they're holding back information? What do you cite, and what information are they withholding?
Because I have colleagues in the government who are fully aware, and were aware months before, for instance, the cardiotoxicity was disclosed, that the cardiotoxicity was an issue. What I'm hearing now from multiple sources is that individuals are purchasing access, for instance, to the Medicare Medicaid database, and high net worth individuals, and are paying for biostatisticians to independently evaluate those. And in some cases, biostatisticians and data experts are doing this voluntarily because they're so concerned about what's going on. And what they're finding is that the CDC is grossly underreporting these key adverse events that because they're so concerned about what's going on. And what they're finding is that the CDC is grossly underreporting these key adverse events that in data that the U.S. government produces that is readily available to the CDC. And my colleagues, senior colleagues at the FDA, have known that this was the case for months and are very frustrated. This goes back to my interview with Tucker, where I that's another bomb I dropped, is that these databases are horrible. And but even despite all their limitations, people with skill are able to data mine those and identify things like the cardiotoxicity that at the time the CDC denied existed. We have multiple examples where the CDC appears to be editing data in the support of this, the noble lie. That, remember, going back to that, the core thesis is as I said, it's in the Federal Register. The core thesis is that
it'd be like crazy if like the same people involved in like figuring out the CDC numbers were involved in counting votes, right? Like that would be fucking so far-fetched. Like that probably didn't happen, right? Like that didn't happen, right? I can't remember, but that didn't happen, right?
any information that would cause vaccine hesitancy must be suppressed. That's what's going on. Let's be clear about that. And they believe that it is okay to do so because it's in the best interest of the public. This is classic noble lie logic. It's also happening in Israel. But this is a different time. People, for right or wrong, they believe that they deserve to have access to all of these data, make their own choices, exercise their own free will, not be forced into decisions by the government that about risks that they don't fully understand. And yet the government believes that it is still okay to treat us in this paternalistic manner, like they did back in the 50s. As they say, right? Treat us like a bunch of mushrooms. You understand the metaphor.
Right.
That's no longer okay in the modern age. But what's different now is that they have these enormous, understand the metaphor.
Right.
That's no longer okay in the modern age. But what's different now is that they have these enormously powerful mechanisms for controlling information they never had before. And that's this intersection of new media, old media, and big tech. And that is what's going on here, and they've never had that level of power in their tools before.
Real quickly, we got about a minute here, and we'd love you to hold through the break too. But does the Pfizer situation with the booster, the difference between conspiracy theory and fact now is about 6 months? Because remember, a couple of months ago, anybody would bring up the fact that we're going to need a booster or another shot was a conspiracy theorist. Is that get to your point about the novel lie? I mean, remember they trashed everybody that even brought it up about potential a booster. We got about a minute.
Tony jumped on Pfizer right away, right? And said, no, you can't say that. It's an amazing demonstration of this in real time, where the leadership of Pfizer says we're going to need a booster at 6 months because the durability of our vaccines are waning. By the way, that's exactly the window in antibody-dependent enhancement becomes the greatest risk, is during the waning phase of a vaccine. The Pfizer guy says, we got to do this to protect people. Tony jumps on him and says, no, I didn't allow you to say that. That's the paraphrase of what he did. And if you need yet another demonstration of Tony's willingness to distort the truth, there you got it.
Okay, short commercial break.
Robert F. Kennedy. No commercials on this fucking channel. We don't do that. This shit's free. Free fitty. There's all my links are in the description, but this will always be free fitty, man. I ain't charging anybody shit for this show. This is my shit show. I don't charge you shit for my show. All right, I got some shit show stuff to play. Give me a second. I gotta do my normal thing. Scroll back, hit pause. All right, we're gonna look at Biden. This is a 30-second clip of our resident. Hold on, give me a second. Overdid it. Yeah, share it first. Oh man, 30 seconds of our resident. If you can bear with me. And we're gonna watch some more stuff. I got a bunch of stuff loaded up. I guess there's kind of a rhythm to the magic to it. All right, watch this, man. This is today, I believe.
Hey, Leader McCarthy, Senator Casey, Congressman Scott, Congressman, where is he? There you are, Paul. You understand this better than anybody does. I want to thank you, Congressman, for all your work. And I want to thank you all for being here. Second, by the way, where's Mom? Mom, is she here? Oh, she's watching. Okay, I thought you looked and said, Mom is out there. I was going to ask her to stand up, but Mom, you can't stand up if you're home. Hey, Leader McCarthy, Senator Casey.
This is our leader of the fucking free world right now. Listen to this asshole. We'll listen to it twice. 30 seconds. Listen to this dumbass twice. I'll make it big.
Congressman, for all your work. And I want to thank you all for being here. Second, by the way, where's Mom? Mom, is she here? Oh, she's watching. Okay, I thought you looked and said, Mom is out there. I was going to ask her to stand up, but Mom, you can't stand up if you're home. Hey.
That's our fucking situation, right? Yeah, that makes people happy. All right, this next up on the list. Hey, what up, D-Dog? Hell yeah, man. Homeboy. All the good people in the house always, man. All right, so this dude, Pillman, he was trending on Twitter today because of this crap. And I want to show you this because they're only showing like 17, 20 seconds of him talking about like, you know, if they had a conscience, Joe and Kamala would resign. And then, you know, everyone's like, oh, did he fail civics? You know, on Twitter, like, even though like Speaker Pelosi, whatever. Here's his full speech today. So it's about 5 minutes long. It's actually a pretty good speech. You can see where they took it out of context.
Communism can do to a country. There was Mike Lindell.
And here, let me make sure. All right, there we go. I got to scroll back, share screen, make sure we got the sound. All right, so here's his full speech today on the War Room. It's about 5 minutes, so we're going to listen to this whole thing. Steve Bannon won't sue me, I'm sure. And he'll let me leave it up. Cool, dude.
Everybody's raving about the speech you made in New Hampshire the other night. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, it was awesome. There was hundreds of people there, and I got to spend time with each and every one. That always means a lot to me. It wasn't just pictures. I mean, they all had concerns and they wanted to hear about the, where we were going, what they can do to be a part of everything. And now I've actually got answers for them. I've told them, get to frankspeech.com. We're going to have this symposium, and then a lot of the work will be done. And it's been 5 months in the making.
Let me ask you before we get to that. When people come up to you, and just not there for a photo op, but actually you spend some time with them. I know you spent a couple hours afterwards. What are the one or two things that people are telling you? What can you take away when you get back on the plane? What's the thing that resonates with you?
Every one of them has a story of election fraud. It's like every one of them is going, hey, I have more evidence. This is what actually happened to me. And it's all real. They have firsthand accounts. It seems to be across the board. Or they're going and they're asking me about down tickets that were affected, and it's all about the 2020 election, because now their concerns are we going to be able to right this ship, or is our country going to get destroyed? And they're all about the, American dream. I had so many entrepreneurs come up to me and say, they're very concerned because things were going well for them. We go back to 2019 and everyone's got their own story, but they all intertwine. They all come together right now because of what's going on in our country, and with China attacking us through this election. And it's and you guys, everyone realized too. I actually, I talk to Democrats and liberals too, and they see the bad things that are going on. And it's not when I talk about Democrat, I'm not talking about the Democrat Party. I'm talking about Democrats that a lot of them felt there were even people at this in New Hampshire there that actually made a mistake, and they're going, if I'd have known this now, what I know then, because they invited it, it was kind of pretty much open to public, and there was a lot of people there that had regrets that they wish they would have known more before they voted. And there weren't a lot of them.
Hang on. You're telling me there people. Hang on. You're telling me people showed up there that voted for Biden?
Yeah, there was 3 of them that actually voted. They feel terrible about it. They feel like they're part of this now, and they just don't so much regret. And I said, you know what? I said, you didn't know about this, but you thought you were voting for something. I said, you didn't get to vote. I said, you didn't get to vote. China did our vote, and we're going to show that at the symposium. And but I said, the hope there, Steve, the 3 of them I talked to, and this was outside.
Got to mute myself. I'll give my own personal disclaimer on Mike Lindell's evidence is that I've been told by a number of good people that know some shit about some shit, whether or not they think this is a thing, and they're all just like, take it with a grain of salt, be careful. So I would just tell all my viewers with all his stuff, if you trust my judgment on anything, and take that for a fucking grain of salt. And with a grain of salt, my judgment is my own judgment, but I'm not so sure exactly if all this is going to line up or work exactly the way he thinks it is. I think that the forensic audit in Arizona is doing a pretty good job. I think people like Major Dave in North Carolina and all these patriots all over the country are doing incredible jobs in different aspects. But we're all splintered and shattered right now. And this is just one moving part. So don't put any of your eggs in one basket. If it works out, that's great. But he's very confident in it. But I'm not yet, So that's my own opinion. All right, we'll keep going.
That they actually didn't come into the actual event, but they were there to tell me how they felt horrible, that they almost feel responsible for what's happened to our country. And I said, no, this was an attack on our country. But it gives me hope that even your Democrats, and which I already knew that from my own company, there's a lot of Democrats, a lot of liberals, and they're seeing now firsthand what government can do and how bad socialism and communism can be. And this is so I think it's a big eye opener, which is going to help everything when we get through this, and the Supreme Court pulls down this election, like I've been telling everybody. When they do this, it's going to be a great uniting, and that gives me hope right there. These are Democrats on the ground that vote.
Like right there, I don't trust the Supreme Court. He does, I don't. That's the difference between us, I think, right there. He has a lot more faith than I do. God bless the man. I'm not holding it against him.
Voted for Biden, and they realize now the mistake that, they feel responsible, but they're seeing in power. And once we show them that it was China, the CCP, that used the Democrat Party, and granted, don't get me wrong, there was people involved in this, and we'll find out. Once we have the symposium, Steve, I told these people, I said, you know what? I said, well, how are the pathways of Donald Trump coming back? And I said, well, the first one would be once we have the symposium by the night of the 12th or the.
So here, just for your mind, is what the news media is going to pound down your throat about what Mike Lindell said. This is the only part of what he said. I'll listen to everything he said up to this. Now, this is the only clip you're going to hear on the mainstream media, so that's why I'm playing this for you guys, just to show you the full interview. I'll always look at the full shit.
But I said, well, how are the pathways of Donald Trump coming back? And I said, well, the first one would be once we have the symposium by the night of the 12th or the morning of the 13th, if everyone has seen it, including the administration that's in there now that didn't win, maybe, Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign. And I'm serious. If you have any moral character about you, we're all in this together, and this was an attack, and you're going to see that at this symposium. It's all going to be, everything will be revealed there, and so it gives me great hope.
So it's obvious by the way he phrased that statement, he doesn't expect them to do that. But the media is going to frame that he doesn't know anything about the Constitution, and he's hoping they're going to resign, and he's too stupid to think that would make Nancy Pelosi president. Like, come on. Now let's listen to the rest of the man's speech, which they won't tell you or show you.
Those three Democrats I talked to outside that hotel that felt regret, felt some responsibility of the and feeling bad. And I've met many people like that. They're going, well, I wish I would have known about this. I wish I'd have known about Hunter's laptop. I'm going, you guys, it wouldn't have mattered. This was all done through a cyber attack, and it wouldn't have mattered. So don't have regret. Let's move forward and learn from this, and learn from I think it's great we're getting an example. I know it's horrific of what socialism and communism can do to a country.
Yeah.
And we're, instead of just hearing about it, Steve, we're living it firsthand.
It's providential.
All right, so that's that. That's a big piece of it. I mean, that's a big piece of everything. I mean, the whole thing is a propaganda machine, that from beginning to end, and it's non-stopping. Look at this. So this is Biden today, propped up in his little chair, announcing that the VA is gonna all have to do vax. And again, like, this is 34 seconds. This man can barely keep it together to even say this shit. Hold on, I gotta share the link. Give me a second. Man, I got all mad. I forget to share the link. Hold on, give me a second. Bam. Gotta give it sound. I share the link. Biden being a fucking asshat, announcing that the VA, 100,000 employees all have to be mandatory vaxxed by September with this experimental jab juice. The Fauci ouchie. I got some memes for you guys.
You are such a pain in the neck when I'm going to answer your question because we've known each other for so long. It has nothing to do with Iraq. The answer, no. I'll answer your question. Yes, Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working in facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
Thank you, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go. Thank you.
All right, President Biden, they're taking a question not on topic.
Oh, there we go. That's supposed to be the headliner for my show. And just on the point of masks, I've been meaning to show this meme. I forget if I have or not, so forgive me because I look at a lot of this crap all day. But this is one of the reasons why they like masks. So I'm just going to put it up on screen, and I'm not going to comment on it. And y'all just look at it and figure this out. Look at this. I'll give you a second to read it. You wonder why they're talking about masking again. Give me another 30 seconds or so. I'm sorry. It's troubling and upsetting, but there's a truth to it. Put another meme I saw today up on screen because I think this will encourage y'all. And I agree with this man here. Yeah. So anyway, those are my memes I got to share for the day. I'm with that one because I think it's important. Love you guys. All right. So on to the next thing. Get rid of that. Get rid of that overlay. I don't need no StreamYard overlay. They know I'm using StreamYard. I can pop up banners like this. All right. Anyway, we're going to keep going down our rabbit hole of bullshit. We got this one next. Oh, man. I'm just plowing through a bunch of links with you guys tonight. This is the meat of the show. I got to, once I'm done with these things, I'm going to probably go to bed. So I got a few more things to share with you, though. So I got this little meathead meatball jabroni from New York fucking jabroni meatball. Fucking cacks. Okay. All right, give me a second. All right, we already got it sharing. Give me a second. Expand it. There you go. Listen to this jabroni.
And we have to get in those communities, and we have to knock on those doors, and we have to convince people and put them in a car and drive them and get that vaccine in their arm. That is the mission. And we have to get in those communities, and we have to knock on those doors, and we have to convince
people talking to me?
And put them in a car.
I know you ain't fucking
drive
talking to
them
me.
And get that vaccine in their arm.
You ain't talking to fucking me, are you?
That is the mission.
You talking to me? Get out of here.
And we have to get in those communities, and we have to knock on those doors.
That was fun. I was just trying to do a live special effect. I hope y'all appreciated that. Never watch it. Just fuck that shit. All right, so this is what was happening outside of Washington, D.C. today, outside of Joey Bribe's house. Little Sleepy Joey Bribe's house. He had a couple of Cubans show up outside his house, and they weren't so happy. I got at least one, if not two of these. Let's see here. The first one. This is a news reporter getting chased away from the protest. CNN. I don't actually know if it's CNN. I'm just hypothesizing. At least they were kind enough to escort him away from danger. You see, the guy was like, no, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. We're making him leave. We're making him leave. You know, they're cool about it. That's how people will be as long as you play it cool. But yeah, no, a bunch of Cubans, and they didn't like that reporter. All right, we got another lady. There's another Cuban from today outside of Joey Bribe's house. We're going to listen to her. Give me a second, loaded it. Bloop, bloop. Here we go. We're getting towards the end here, guys, of stuff I got called up. If anyone wants to send me, I didn't call up anything good and inspirational for the end of my show, and I always like to end with something like heartwarming and inspirational. So if anybody's got a suggestion, that's listening in the comments for something heartwarming and inspirational for the end of the night, I got like 3 or 4 more tabs I'm going to go through, and I would love to play whatever you guys got lined up to help me out to close the show. That'd be cool. All right, we're going to listen to this lady, pissed off Cuban. She voted for Joey.
Anything for us. Nothing.
Is there anything that you want to have accomplished? If Biden could do one thing, what would you want?
I want them to help us get freedom, because when Biden needed a lot of our Cuban votes, because I'm from Florida, and when him and Kamala came to Florida that he wanted our help, I was one of the ones, just like millions of Cubans voted for him, and he hasn't done anything for us. Nothing. He needs to step up, because he has helped a lot of other countries, okay? Why not Cuba? Is he a communist too? That's my... Okay? Why not Cuba? Is he a communist too? That is my question to you. Okay? Why not Cuba? Is he a communist too? That is my question to you, Biden. I voted for you. You haven't done nothing for my people. He hasn't done anything
that lady
for us. Nothing.
That lady was pissed, man. She wasn't having it, man. I already played this guy. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is kind of funny. What else is this one? All right, that's nothing. All right, I got something funny. And I'm going to wait on something inspirational. I'm going to play you guys a funny video. And if nobody picks anything inspirational, then I'm just going to like have to randomly Google inspirational shit that I will find, because I will find inspirational shit if I need to. But if anyone's got inspirational stuff, throw it up in the comments. We're going to watch a little funny video, one more funny video. It's Antifa walking in the wrong house is what it was tagged as, but it's like an old like skit involving like horror movie like cliches. And I always say this is like, you know, in horror movies, if there was ever a gun, the horror movie's over. You know, like it's like they never have guns in horror movies. There's never anybody who's armed except for like Tremors, you know. And even then, like, man, the dude with all the guns was like fucking Burt Gummer. He saved the fucking day, you know. All right, anyway, we're gonna watch this shit together. Scroll back. Hold on. Pause it, make it big. It's always going to be chunky on my show. All right, mute my... Man, all right. So that was funny to me. Yeah, that would be like end every horror movie. It's like, sorry guys, bye babe. Yeah, Kama is horrible. Yeah, he's absolutely fucking cringe. He's like the absolute worst. All right, well, I'm looking for something refreshing and powerful and uplifting to everybody. So I'm trying to think of something inspirational. We'll think about this. I got one for you guys. Let's do this. We just need to listen to the beginning of this because this will be our. I'll use this for our inspiration if I can get it to work here. Yeah, there we go. Maybe. This is it.
My son bought me this strange new tool for Father's Day.
You guys
At
don't have to
first,
listen to
I
this
thought it
crap.
was some
You got
tricky
an ad
toy,
going.
but I
Sorry.
decided to give this contour gauge a try. It was surprisingly easy.
Cut my volume down so you have to listen to that crap. I think this is. Nah, it's probably not. See, this might work better. Let's see. Yeah. Hold on, give me a second. Look at this. Yeah. I'm just going to listen to about 10, 15 minutes of this. We'll see how far in we go. But I've listened to this whole thing. I highly recommend it. You listen to it in like a day. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. She's got something for a link too. I'll take that out. Well, yours is probably way shorter, but I'm already committed to this, so I'm gonna play a few minutes of this at least, and I'm gonna check out your links while I'm listening to this and see what we got here. I'll make it the way I can get it up on there. So, all right, we're gonna listen to like 10 minutes of this. Federalist Papers, the beginning of this.
This is a
Full audio
LibriVox
book.
recording.
I'll put up a link.
All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain.
Oh,
For more
yeah.
information or to
You guys shouldn't hear it. Maybe.
Please visit LibriVox.org.
LibriVox, grant. Yeah,
Recorded by Kim Braun. The
It's all
Federalist
free.
Papers. Federalist Number 1. General Introduction. For the Independent Journal. Saturday, October 27th, 1787. Hamilton. To the people of the state of New York. After an unequivocal experience of the inefficacy of the subsisting federal government, you are called upon to deliberate on a new constitution for the United States of America. The subject speaks its own importance, comprehending in its consequences nothing less than the existence of the Union, the safety and welfare of the parts of which it is composed, the fate of an empire in many respects the most interesting in the world. It has been frequently remarked that it seems to have been reserved to the people of this country, by their conduct and example, to decide the important question, whether societies of men are really capable or not of establishing good government from reflection and choice, or whether they are forever destined to depend for their political constitutions on accident and force. If there be any truth in the remark, the crisis at which we are arrived may with propriety be regarded as the era in which that decision is to be made, and a wrong election of the part we shall act may, in this view, deserve to be considered as the general misfortune of mankind. This idea will add the inducements of philanthropy to those of patriotism,
to heighten the solicitude which all considerate and good men must feel for the event. Happy will it be if our choice should be directed by a judicious estimate of our true interests, unperplexed and unbiased by considerations not connected with the public good. But this is a thing more ardently to be wished than seriously to be expected. The plan offered to our deliberations affects too many particular interests, innovates upon too many local institutions, not to involve in its discussion a variety of objects foreign to its merits, and of views, passions, and prejudices little favorable to the discovery of truth. Among the most formidable of the obstacles which the new Constitution will have to encounter may readily be distinguished the obvious interest of a certain class of men in every state to resist all changes which may hazard a diminution of the power, emolument, and consequence they hold under the state establishments, and the perverted ambition of another class of men, who will either hope to aggrandize themselves by the confusions of their country, or will flatter themselves with fairer prospects of elevation from the subdivision of the empire into several partial confederacies than from its union under one government. It is not, however, my design to dwell upon observations of this nature. I am well aware that it would be disingenuous to resolve indiscriminately the opposition of any set of men, merely because their situations might subject them to suspicion, into interested or ambitious views. Candor will oblige us to admit that even such men may be actuated by upright intentions, and it cannot be doubted that much of the opposition which has made its appearance, or may hereafter make its appearance, will spring from sources, blameless at least, if not respectable, the honest errors of minds led astray by preconceived jealousies and fears. Numerous indeed, and so powerful are the causes which serve to give a false bias to the judgment, that we, upon many occasions, see wise and good men on the wrong as well as on the right side of questions of the first magnitude to society. This circumstance, if duly attended to, would furnish a lesson of moderation to those who are ever so much persuaded of their being in the right in any controversy. And a further reason for caution in this respect might be drawn from the reflection that we are not always sure that those who advocate the truth are influenced by purer principles than their antagonists. Ambition, avarice, personal animosity, party opposition, and many other motives not more laudable than these, are apt to operate as well upon those who support as those who oppose the right side of a question. Were there not even these inducements to moderation, nothing could be more ill-judged than that intolerant spirit which has, at all times, characterized political parties. For in politics, as in religion, it is equally absurd to aim at making proselytes by fire and sword. Heresies in either can rarely be cured by persecution. And yet, however just these sentiments will be allowed to be, we have already sufficient indications that it will happen in this as in all former cases of great national discussion. A torrent of angry and malignant passions will be let loose. To judge from the conduct of the opposite parties, we shall be led to conclude that they will mutually hope to evince the justness of their opinions and to increase the number of their converts by the loudness of their declamations and the bitterness of their invectives. An enlightened zeal for the energy and efficiency of government will be stigmatized as the offspring of a temper fond of despotic power and hostile to the principles of liberty. An over-scrupulous jealousy of danger to the rights of the people, which is more commonly the fault of the head than of the heart, will be represented as mere pretense and artifice, the stale bait for popularity at the expense of the public good. It will be forgotten, on the one hand, that jealousy is the usual concomitant of love, and that the noble enthusiasm of liberty is apt to be infected with a spirit of narrow and illiberal distrust. On the other hand, it will be equally forgotten that the vigor of government is essential to the security of liberty, that, in the contemplation of a sound and well-informed judgment, their interest can never be separated, and that a dangerous ambition more often lurks behind the specious mask of zeal for the rights of the people than under the forbidden appearance of zeal for the firmness and efficiency of government.
I'm talking and you guys aren't hearing me. That's right. Yeah. Hell yeah. Lady came in. Tacos ready. I will. I got to play like one more video or so.
They're hot.
All right.
They're really good.
We got hot tacos. All right. I got to end my video, but we got at least one more video. And if anyone else wants to pop a shorty in, I'll play that as well. All right. This is from Indy. We're going to play this next.
Do you know it raises the vibration? There's a PhD study proving this. All of the satanic vibrations are 0.2 to 2. Anger, jealousy, resentment, fear. Are we fearful? When you take it to high love, companionship, joy, peace, it resonates at 180 to 220. When we say the Lord's Prayer, it's been proven. It raises the vibration. Will you join me? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. That's exactly it. We have the power and we can do it. So don't ever think you're alone.
All right, so that's cool. That's really cool. All right, it made me think of the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, and I've never heard this version, so I'm gonna listen to this lady sing it. And so this is the Lord's Prayer in the language that Jesus spoke, Aramaic, the ancient Aramaic. So this is pretty fun. We're gonna listen to this real quick. we're gonna listen to one more rendition of that same thing. Another rendition of that 5 minutes long because I just want to. I'm feeling that shit. So we're going there. You know, if I'm gonna get into Jesus, I'm getting into the Aramaic shit. You know me. I like to get into the nerd stuff with it. Let's go. one time because I love this one. So bear with me. And then it's going to be good night. So hope you all had a good night. Thanks for hanging out. I'll throw the link up for this one too.
Отче наш на арамейском языке.
Амунд башмаю, непекада шешемо, тифе малekutos, negewesebeyuno, agikano de bashmayo.
You thought I was gone. Maybe I'm back. Maybe I was praying the whole time behind that fire image and none of you heard nothing because my mic was muted. That's probably what happened, huh? Well, I'll end you with the final prayer and then I'll say goodnight to you. Maybe y'all meditated with me. If you stuck around this long, this one's for you. Vamiva mata japita tvameva vameva bandhu yasika vameva tvameva vidya Dravenam Dvameva Dvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti Hariom. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. If you made it that far, I hope you had a good and quiet moment with yourself. And love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.